Happy Friday. It's Freestyle Friday here at Spike Week. But first, we have to talk about Malik Nabers. We are not quite yet into the peak of news season and training camp and all the updates that we will get over the course of the summer. And so, a second-ish round pick in fantasy, one of the best young wide receivers in football who tore his ACL and has had some complications along the way, is drawing a lot of eyeballs and thoughts and brain power on what the heck do we do with Malik Nabers in fantasy. We're going to talk about maybe some of the little bit of misinformation, some clickbait, some engagement farming going on out there in the social media sphere, and what the real quotes were from John Harbaugh. What the heck do we do with this guy who's clearly a very talented wide receiver, but he's coming off of an injury in our drafts? And then, of course, if you never joined us before for Freestyle Friday, we are going to draft some best ball teams, but with a little bit of a twist. You guys are going to give me some strategies, some words, some ideas, and I'm going to have to implement them on the fly in the draft, starting with some DraftKings, some drafters. And at the end, we're going to give away a free ticket to the drafters main event. We got a lot going on. Happy Friday. Let's do it. Happy Friday. I agree. Astro, Roni, what's going on? Devin, thank you. No, we don't got to slander. We don't got to slander the folks. Won't you be my neighbors fitting from Warehouse? It is a beautiful day. A little gloomy here, but still, nonetheless, a beautiful day to draft some best ball teams, draft some fantasy football teams. I agree. Good morning. Feel free to pop a GM in the chat. Happy to be here with you guys. We got to talk about Malik Nabers. As I said before at the top, we'll talk about this whole situation a little bit. It's one of the most, important, frankly, things in fantasy football. I think right now in this moment, it'll change once we get into tons of news and training camp and depth chart stuff starting to flesh itself out. But we don't have a lot of that right now. And we have this really polarizing player who tore his ACL last year, had some additional issues with his recovery, and everybody sort of has strong takes and emotions and everything about this Malik Nabers situation. So I think we need to spend a little bit of time on it. Before we get to it, as I mentioned, Freestyle Friday. If you guys have ideas, strategies, thoughts, there's a couple that have been dropped into the Discord already. We're going to do at least a couple drafts here today. And as I said, during those drafts on Fridays, I have to take 3 ideas, concepts, strategies. They can be anything as simple as draft a Buffalo Bills stack or draft a 0 running back team, to, as I mentioned before, a couple weeks ago, I had to draft at least multiple players from my hometown, which is, of course, St. Louis. Shocking with all this St. Louis shit behind my head for the YouTube viewers. Or as complex as drafting one of the ones today from the Discord, shout out to Hacker, was draft a team with 8 running backs, but from only 4 NFL teams. We can get complex, we can get simple. We'll mix it all together and freestyle some drafts here in just a little bit. Also, if you have not signed up yet for Spike Week Premium, you will see the Draft Hacker today. You will see the Draft Optimizer today. You'll probably see some Draft IQ. You will see our rankings. Everything that we do, you can get for one low monthly subscriptions, $39.99 a month, $200 for the year. You can also join us in the Discord. It's free to join if you just want to hop in. You'll get notified of new content and tools updates and rankings updates and all that kind of stuff for free. You can join the support channels and all that kind of stuff. But there's a million channels behind the paywall where all the sickos are hanging out. If you want to come talk, we have an early morning crew that's in there at like 5 a.m. every morning, and there's thousands of messages before I even get in to the chat, all the way through to the night crew that's up posting messages at 2 a.m. Our shout out to, I believe Rodney was posting at like 4 a.m. his time last night. It's a great place to hang out and talk best ball, and we're just getting into it right on May 22nd. All right, enough of that housekeeping. Let's talk about Malik Nabers. So before we dive into like sort of my take, how I'm handling it, how I think we should handle it, we got to read or discuss just really like what are even, sort of the quotes and such going on out there. So I believe early this morning, Adam Schefter posted this, and there's a Jordan Raanan article. And what unfortunately It definitely triggers me. Maybe I'm becoming a bit of a boomer, but it certainly triggers me that what happens in these situations is our world doesn't read the article. They don't read the quotes from John Harbaugh. They take and run with, a headline or a tweet or a TikTok or whatever, right? We take and run with that without spending the time to actually learn a little bit about that situation. I think this is one of those that's like the shining example of something like that. First and foremost, Malik Nabers tore his ACL, had a little bit even more than an ACL tear. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being worried about Malik Nabers. His price indicates that we're all worried, right? This is a guy who a year ago was going in the back half of the first round. We had one of the best rookie wide receiver seasons we've ever seen. He is 23 years old. He is set to probably be, if everything goes according to plan, health-wise and everything, one of the best wide receivers on planet Earth very soon, if not now. He doesn't have much target competition, right? So there's all sorts of great things, but he has this injury. We don't know exactly how his recovery is going to go. We don't know exactly when he's going to be back to full strength. Those are totally real concerns. But every little bit of news and stuff that comes out, we have to make sure that we investigate it and really dig into it. So Schefter tweets this morning, the New York Giants don't know when star receiver Malik Nabers will be back from what Coach John Harbaugh said Thursday was not a simple knee injury. That is technically true. It is also, however, not even close to everything that John Harbaugh said. It is not even close to everything that is important about this situation. And we need to know the full story before we just run with issues, right? So shout out to Coach Speak Index. I don't think Greg will be too upset with me sharing this, but it's important. And I'm just going to read it to you, right? Here's the full John Harbaugh quote about the Malik Nabers situation and why you should subscribe to Coach Speak Index. On where Malik Nabers is at in his rehab. He's in the middle of it. I love that he repeated it. It's such a hard thing. It's an ACL and whatever else he had in that knee, not a simple knee. So there is where Shefty gets the majority of that quote, but you see that's not even half of it. He's in the slog of it, the grind of it. Welcome to rehabbing an ACL tear. I would say, so he's fighting through it and he's here every day, working hard at it. It's just impossible to predict, right? So that's true. It's impossible to predict. The 49ers cannot predict George Kittle and the Green Bay Packers cannot predict Tucker Kraft any more than we can or cannot predict Malik Nabers. That's what John Harbaugh said. The 49ers and Packers, first of all, the 49ers have come out and said, maybe we're hoping he'll be ready for week 1, which is, again, basically just saying it's impossible to predict. The Green Bay Packers have also said, yeah, we're hoping for Tucker Kraft sometime in the first early part of the season. That could be week 1. That could be week 5. That's early in the season. But that doesn't seem to get the headlines because they're frankly not being quite as straightforward. I guess they are being straightforward, but we're just not reading it as much. So anyway, it's impossible to predict. The goal is to start the season and get out there sometime in training camp. That'd be the goal, and we'll see what happens. So what you see in these types of situations is you see the sort of clickbait engagement farming-ish phrasing on an Adam Schefter post, because that's whatever. That's fine. That's what he gets paid to do, right? Drum up engagement, get people to click on the story. Though I'm not sure how many people are clicking and even reading it based on the responses you see about Malik Nabers. That'd be the goal. We'll see what happens. If he's out there, great. If he's not out there, great. We'll be ready to go either way. That's like straight Coach Speak, right? Coach Speak Index. But I know he's fighting like crazy to do his best to be out there, and he's with the guys every day. This is the most nothing burger type update. To me, that's everything that we think that it means is what it means. We don't know yet. They're hoping he'll be out there for training camp. They're hoping he'll be out there to start the season. If not, he'll be back as soon as he can because he is working. He's busting his ass at it. If you have, so here, perfect example. We'll bring this up in the chat. RGT says, the ACL is bad enough, but the dude has had a bunch of other weird lower body stuff. Matt Nagy sucks. Harbaugh is a boomer, and Jackson Dart hasn't even had a 300-yard game yet. Those are all completely fair understandable criticisms of Malik Nabers. I can also very easily counterpoint those, right? Matt Nagy sucks. Sure. Matt Nagy has been on teams that had guys who score a bunch of fantasy points, right? Go look back at the Matt. You may not want Matt Nagy as your offensive coordinator to try to win a Super Bowl for your team. I don't. Matt Nagy it's not like he's not scoring fantasy points. You know what I mean? He's been he's offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. Rashee Rice scored a bunch of fantasy points. Patrick Mahomes scored a bunch of fantasy points. You say, okay, sure, that's not the same situation. That's the Chiefs. Sure. John Harbaugh has been an outstanding head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Zay Flowers has scored fantasy points. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, obviously Derrick Henry, that's a running back. But Rashad Bateman has had near 10 touchdown seasons in his NFL career. Nobody's excited about Rashad Bateman. Malik Nabers is one of the best wide receivers on planet Earth, obviously, when at full strength. And so what I think we have to evaluate is, at what point is it worth the risk to take on this injury stuff? And I that is for every single person's risk tolerance to decide. But here's what I think about these types of situations. In best ball specifically, and frankly in fantasy football altogether, the best things to do, we actually had a conversation about this in the Spec Week Discord because we cover all the sports, baseball, basketball, whatever. With baseball, we had this conversation about, we got a huge Zach Wheeler, Cy Young winner. Got a huge discount on Zach Wheeler because of the injury concerns. I had them too. And Zach Wheeler comes back, looks fine, doesn't start the season right away, but comes back, looks pretty much like Zach Wheeler, 25% strikeout rate, sub 2 ERA, right? 3 xFIP. Like, he looks like close enough like Zach Wheeler. That was not guaranteed to happen. Sometimes you get a Blake Snell who's not ready to go, right? Sometimes you get Christian McCaffrey 2 years ago. Sometimes you get Christian McCaffrey last year. Like, we can't just judge Malik Nabers because, well, Christian McCaffrey has tons of injury risk, and no one seems to care that much about Christian McCaffrey's injury risk. He goes like 6th overall in fantasy drafts, right? George Kittle, Tucker Kraft. And my sort of take on how you should think about this stuff is, as long as you are consistent across all of it, across every single situation, and across how you build your process around these players, I think that it's perfectly reasonable and perfectly defensible. But if you are trying to win best ball tournaments, the epitome of the type of risk, in my opinion, we should be taking is on superstar talents in their prime, especially if they're young. Knee injuries, we'll often talk. I'm sure it will come up multiple times this summer. Like, well, the science has gotten so much better with knee injuries, right? Some people will make that case with George Kittle. Jason Tatum came back really quick from an Achilles, right? So you're like, maybe George Kittle becomes Jason Tatum. With Malik Nabers, it's really hard for me to comprehend running for the hills, regardless of, oh, Matt Nagy stinks. Like, Matt Nagy may stink and Jackson Dart may not throw for 300 yards. Why do I care if Jackson Dart throws for 300 yards? If Malik Nabers was a superstar fantasy asset with Daniel Jones, this is pre-Colts Daniel Jones, and Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock. That's how good this guy is. Jackson Smith and Jigba did it with Sam Darnold, who nobody thought Jackson Smith and Jigba could do it. Jesus, Jackson Smith and Jigba could do it with Sam Darnold, even though Sam Darnold was good with the Minnesota Vikings. We discount guys with extreme upside in a game where we're playing to win millions of dollars against hundreds of thousands of other people. We have to beat hundreds of thousands of other people. I'm not saying draft Malik Nabers on every single team. What I am saying is, if you step back and you say, when I look back on this season, even if Malik Nabers doesn't start the season and isn't pure Malik, that's what Jordan Renan has said, by the way. This is a Giants beat writer who's just guessing, right? He's not a doctor. He's not an injury expert. He has guessed, even if he's ready to go for week 1, maybe it takes a little bit of time for him to be full Malik. If we look back and I told you, yeah, it wasn't great to start the season, but you partway through the season, and especially when it matters most for us in best ball tournaments, You got peak Malik Nabers in the 3rd round or cheaper. I don't know. He's falling a lot. And you were able to pair him with Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Brock Bowers. He's not your first pick. He's not even your second pick. You get to draft 18 or 20 players, and you're trying to beat hundreds of thousands of other players. You have to take some risks, and you have to evaluate not just the risk, but the upside. And shout out to Drew Dinkmeyer, coined the phrase, what do we win when we win? It's not just about what do we lose when this goes bad, because you only advance 2 out of 12. Only 2 out of 12 teams advance in the regular season of your best ball tournament. You could draft 5,000 teams and have so few still left standing, even just in week 15. I drafted 1,500, 1,700, whatever teams last season, and I didn't have a great season. I got a couple to week 17. Even the people that have great seasons might only get a couple teams out of thousands to week 17. And when I think about showing up to week 17, which is Christmas, New Year's, so far away from right now, when I think about showing up there with having bought a discount on Rashee Rice, on Malik Nabers, on pick another guy who's like falling a little bit. Last year, it wasn't because Puka Nacua was injured, but we got a semi-similar situation to this, where we started getting Matthew Stafford health issues. And this was like close to the season, where it was like, they're telling it like he's going out to practice and then he's sitting back out for a few weeks. And like, they were being honest with us that they're working on it, but they didn't provide a bunch of positive updates. They basically said, we don't know. We're expecting him to be good for the season, but we really don't know. And so the market said, oh shit, what do I like? Can I draft Puka if it's like Stetson Bennett or Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback? That's really scary. And Puka Nacua sometimes fell to the middle of the 2nd round. He was like a top 5 pick, fell to the middle of the 2nd round. Now Puka Nacua is going 3rd overall, 4th overall. And now no one cares about the Matthew Stafford stuff, right? Most people probably don't even remember it, because there's obviously a scenario where Matthew Stafford was not right. Injuries happen. That stuff happens. But the upside is such that if you just bought the discount and said, look, I understand the risk, this could go terribly. And this could go terribly with Malik Nabers, 100%. But it also could go really fucking well. Like, we're going to draft. Look, I'm a fan of Chris Olave. I draft Chris Olave. I'm a fan of Garrett Wilson, Tedoroa McMillan, Devontae Smith. We're going to draft these guys over Malik Nabers. They have their own concerns. They don't have injury concerns. Sure, they'll be out there in week 1, but the beginning part of the season is the only part of the season we can plan for a full roster. We know no one's on bye. That's the beauty of best ball, specifically why I love this game. If you don't want to draft him in your home league, because you got to like, man, when am I ever going to get him? When, and I got to know I have to know who to start in his place for a month. Understandable. That's not this game. You don't have to decide who to start over Malik Nabers. Whoever scores the most points goes into your lineup. Draft fucking Michael Pittman. Draft Wan'Dale Robinson. Draft whatever. Draft other good wide receivers. Like you drafted Justin Jefferson. He can cover some time for you for Malik Nabers. I'm approaching it in the way that I'm much more open to risk, and I understand folks that aren't. It seems crazy to me in this game that we need to finish at the very top. I'm trying to win $3 million. And when I look back, and Malik Nabers is going 6th overall next year or whatever in the 1st round, he went like 10th last year. And the quarterback play wasn't great. The Giants situation wasn't great. Their coach got fired. All the quarterbacks that were there last year, sans Jameis, right, are gone. I shouldn't say that. Russell Wilson is gone. The starter from last year was gone. Jackson Dart is a ascending young player. And I just think about these, and I take a step back and I think about, man, if I pass on this opportunity to take the 23-year-old superstar wide receiver at probably the cheapest price he will ever be, we will never get this price again. for Malik Nabers. He's too good. I'm just going to take some. I'm not going to, my whole okay, so let's say you take 15% of Malik Nabers. You draft 1,000 teams. You draft 100 teams. You draft 15% Malik Nabers. You have 85 teams that don't have him. You're fine if it fails. You're totally fine. But running away from risk, playing with fear is not how you're going to win this game. We have to take some swings. If this isn't the swing you want to take, I totally understand. But it shouldn't just be because, oh, look at all these scary things. Because you're drafting, we all are, whether knowingly or subconsciously, we are drafting things that are scary and things that have a lot of risk, no matter what we do. And so don't pick and choose the ones you run from just because it feels the scariest. That's fear-based drafting, and we want to try to shake that as best as we can, and we want to try to pounce on opportunities. I often call it an exploitative draft strategy. I'm not really trying to be right. Sounds crazy. I'm not really trying to be right about every single pick that I make. I'm trying to find the things that I think are the most exploitable. So when I'm right, I can win a lot of money, because that's what we're all trying to do. We're all playing this to win money. It's fun and it's a fun hobby, but we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't want to win the money. So let's try to win the money. And some of those things require us to be really fucking uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable to try to win this type of money. So that's my stance. It doesn't have to be Malik Nabers. That's the guy that you feel uncomfortable with, that you're going to take that dive on. I understand. I am well aware of the risks. I'm well aware of all the downside. I'm well aware of all the issues. But the lesson in the Malik Nabers stuff is process related. You can't, as we say, scared money doesn't make money. You can't make money in this game with 10% to 15% rake. You don't make any, you don't even make money hardly at all advancing. And that's a feat. Finishing top 2 out of 12 in the league is a feat. And you basically get your money back. You need to make it to the end, and you need to finish highly. And your one singular best team will define your whole season. And so on all of those teams, there needs to be some form of upside swing, some form of risk, some form of, speculation or whatever. And this is just one of those examples for me that I want to be taking on. Okay, don't draft scared. See, Clux likes Tucker Kraft. I get it. This Katie says this spot is the reason Nabers goes in the second in all my drafts. I dream of third round Nabers. Someone said they got Rice at pick 70 in a chat, hopped in a draft, and he went 15. Yes, I apologize for that. I am not the person to help drive down the price on these guys. I am hoping that the price continues to keep going down. Yeah, see, Bobby agrees on the CMC. Right. I'm not saying his price isn't reasonable. I'm not saying CMC's price isn't reasonable, but people don't speak about him in the same way, right? Malik Nabers just had one of the greatest rookie wide receiver seasons of all time. Before he got hurt, he was dominant. He was one of the best picks in the first round last year before he got hurt. His price would be reasonable higher, but we're running for the hills on him. Christian McCaffrey, right? If we only focus on 2 years ago from Christian McCaffrey, we would be running for the hills because he was the worst pick on the board. But last year, right, he was, despite being an outrageously inefficient and ineffective runner, he caught a bunch of passes and he got a bunch of work. So we feel comfortable with him. We like MIB flashy thing ourselves periodically about certain stuff in fantasy football. It happens to me too, We'll sort of pick and choose what to remember and what to forget and what to factor in. And I think that's when it becomes a problem in our own individual processes. Is if you love Christian McCaffrey and you hate Malik Nabers, I hate to break it to you about risk, because you're risking a lot on Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't mean it's not worth it, but you're also risking a lot at that pick. Not yet on the drafters giveaway. Once we hop into the draft, I'll set up the sheet. Let's see. Just schedule morning. Yeah, Gus Edwards scored fantasy points with Harbaugh. Gus Edwards is not playing football anymore. Drafting Nabers could change your neighbors. This is so good. I'm going to pin this. Put this Roni, after the video is done, post this in the comments, and I'm gonna fucking pin it because it's so good. But these are the kind of guys I think, like, if you're full fading guys like this, I think you're sort of playing it wrong. Agreed. Scared money don't make money. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm mostly caught up. Yeah, Roni even says had a Neighbors team make it to week 16. He tore his ACL in whatever early part of the season and still made it to week 16, even with Malik Nabers on it. Bobby likes Dart likely Neighbors. I like it. I also like Scat. I'm with you. Clue, I'm totally with you. Slurping the Neighbors. Dipperino. Yeah, for sure. I know. It just, I also wasn't calling you out, Woo. There's a lot of comments, and Christian McCaffrey just happened to be top of mind. I'm with you. This is an excellent point. Christian Watson, I've probably lost sleep over Christian Watson last year. That dude, I didn't think he was going to play football last year. And if he did, like, maybe he comes back at the end, as a part-time gadget player or something like that. And Christian Watson not only comes back, he was incredible. Christian Watson came back better after his issues. And like, we never cite that, right? Like, well, Christian Watson did it. Why can't Malik Nabers do it? And again, the missed time stuff, if you're drafting, again, you're drafting your home league, you're drafting on drafters stuff, missing the first month or not being right from a second or third round pick certainly has more impact. I'll never besmirch someone for fading in total points, but we're not playing mostly total points games. We're playing survive weeks 1 through 14 and have as much upside as possible to get sort of lucky in the playoff rounds. What more upside is there than superstars who are discounted because people are afraid that they won't be healthy this year? And they might not be, but they might be, right? That's the point. They might not be, but they also might be. And as Roni said, you could change Neighbors because you drafted Malik Nabers. $3 million can move you into a whole new house and a whole new tax bracket and a whole new subdivision or city. Could also have you in the poorhouse. You're moving down to the trailer park down the road, which is okay. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not drafting him on every single team. I can still win if he fails, but I couldn't look myself in the eye. I couldn't look you guys in the eye, or my computer. I couldn't look my computer in the eye next year if I faded Malik Nabers at the discount. All right. As I mentioned, it's Freestyle Friday. Well, we went a little long, as I tend to do on Malik Nabers. What I need from you guys is the Freestyle Friday sort of notes, ideas. We're going to start with a DraftKings Millie. And then, as I said, I'll get the free ticket giveaway ready while we are in the draft. But I need 3 words or ideas or draft strategies over the next couple of minutes that I will have to implement into this draft with the goal of being uncomfortable, doing some stuff I don't normally do. You're scared of Malik Nabers. Let me tell you, a great thing to get better as a best ball drafter is to dabble in things that make you uncomfortable. And that's what I do every single Friday. And I got to tell you, I feel extremely, extremely uncomfortable. Okay, I'm going to do, because we're in 20 rounds, I want to mention the one that Hacker said. So on DK or drafters, he says draft an 8 running back team using guys from only 4 different teams. So you guys know, if you've been watching, I'm a big fan of buying backfields, which is essentially what he's mentioning there. So let's see. We could save the robust running back for the next one, Jason. We'll save that one. I could technically do Triple H in this, but we might save the Triple H as well. Keep those and remind me of those when we move on to the next draft. Did my volume go out? No, I don't think so. My mic looks like it's working. Okay. No QB. No QB before round 10. I like it. Syndicate says bully tight end. All right, let's do this. Here we go. I'm in. So 8 RBs on only 4 NFL teams. Bully tight end. And what was the other one? No QB first 10 rounds. That's what we got going for this one here on draft. Bully tight end. No QB first 10 rounds. And 4 backfields purchased. Okay, this is going to be tricky. I don't know how I feel about this, guys. 8 running backs on 4 teams is the most interesting build by far. That's so funny. Yesterday, we record Legendary Sickos, myself and Kareen, on Thursday afternoons. And this happened to me, Tebow. So that's why I was panicking a little. All right, out of the 104, we're going to take Puka. All right, and I will get the hold on, I got to take this down real quick just to get the sheet ready for everyone. All right. I am posting in the chat. If you're new to the channel, there is a Google Sheet link that you can put your name, username, whatever, in the first column of said spreadsheet. And my good friends over at Drafters have blessed me with the ability to give away a free ticket to their main event, which is this $15. Get this out of here. Which is this $15 Drafters main event over here. Every show that we do a Drafters main event, I get to give away a free ticket. So obviously, we're drafting the DK Millie here. We'll pop over to Drafters after this. And at the end of the show, I will take everyone who puts their name in said sheet here that you see on your screen now in this column here. Everyone will be entered to win. I'll put your name on a wheel. We'll spin the wheel, and whatever the wheel decides, that person gets a free ticket. Whew. Oh, just coming in from the top rope. Rock hard. Has 0% neighbors. So you just like live out in the country? Makes sense. Sounds good. You should be. Honest to God, I think if you full fade Malik Nabers and you're not worried, you should seek therapy. You should be worried. I'm fading Christian McCaffrey, and I'm worried about fucking everything. How could anyone not be worried about not drafting really good players? You know what I mean? Like, one of the greatest skills I think in this game is understanding how often you're wrong. And so if there's things you're not worried about, like, I think DJ Moore is a horrible pick. Like, truly horrible. On the scale of aren't you worried, he's on the lower end of things I'm worried about. But am I still worried? Of course. Of course I'm worried. I'm worried about everyone. Jerry Jeudy has had big games. Amari Cooper scored 50 fantasy points in week 16, and I was never worried about Amari Cooper. Like, this game is chaos. I'm worried about all of it. See, and I like Bryce more than the average bear, but 75% Bryce Young would certainly have me worried. Beautiful. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, Bowers went into 2. Okay, so I have to take McBride. I have to take McBride. What's Loveland's ADP? 42. And I pick at 45. Damn it. Would Harold Fannin count as bully tight? Would Tyler Warren count as bully tight end? Like if I take Tyler Warren at 52, chat, does that count as bully tight end? Boom. Okay, it's been decided because I wanted Bowers McBride, of course. Okay, I need to let's do Devontae here. I don't have enough Devontae yet. I do need to start planning for some quarterbacks because I can't. I got to plan for the quarterbacks after round 10. After round 10, right? Okay, yeah. So that's starts at Malik Willis, or if Baker falls into round 11, I can take him, right? But I need to plan for Willis, Bryce, Mendoza, Darnold, Ward, Daniel Jones, Stroud, Geno, Brissett. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is terrible. It counts. Good. Why McBride there? Because I have, across the bottom of your screen, those are the 3 prompts that I have to complete in this freestyle draft, and one of them is bully tight end, and Brock Bowers was already gone, so I am required essentially to take Trey McBride. Perfect. Chat has decided. Oh, you can. I can take a no. Okay. Well, we'll still try to make the cheap ones work. We'll see how it goes. This is so true. This is so true about just like best ball in general. The final point of I don't control the other clicks. It's another great like lesson to learn. Like with the Malik Nabers thing, like you don't control if other people are going to take them. You can try and push them and try to get value, and then you don't get them, and so what? You move on to the next. Like I just ranted about Malik Nabers and I didn't take him. Like, but look at the 101. Like with all of the concerns for Rashee Rice and Malik Nabers, I don't know how someone who has Jahmyr Gibbs or something can look themselves in the face when Thursday Night Football Week 1 starts and said, I never even took that once. Not just once to see how it feels. Right? Ouch, ouch, you're on my hair. Like not even trying it once, just to live a little, seems crazy to me. Oh, look at this. Another Eric with a K. Shout out, another Eric with a K. AJ Brown, Travion, but couldn't pull the trigger on May with Tootin on the board. Are you trying to get any AJ Browns? Yeah, I am. Definitely trying to get some AJ Brown, Drake May teams. I know our good friend Rick in the Discord and sometimes in the chat has been hammering Drake May, AJ Brown teams before he gets traded. Totally agree. You can move. Nabers and Rice have such a wide range of outcomes on where they go that they're pretty fun to just sprinkle across different teams. And again, you don't have to take some big stand, but you're like, oh man, wow, Nabers fell to 34 in this draft or what? Right, whatever. Rice fell to 42. Like, okay, I'll take a little. Oh, damn, we almost got Loveland. I was hoping. Okay. I could do Scat and take Tracy. I could do the Rams thing, but Stafford doesn't fit great. Burden doesn't. How about this, actually? I'm actually going to take Bucky because Gainwell, and even if I miss on Gainwell, Sean Tucker is pretty easy to get for my 8 running backs on only 4 teams. My wide receivers are going to suck a little, but that's okay. It's what Puka and Devontae Smith are for. Plus, did I say? I don't know. I walked the dogs early and went to the gym early and have a jam-packed afternoon. So if my brain is a little more fried than usual, I apologize. But Bucky plays against Puka in week 17, as you see over here, lighting up in orange. Shout out to the draft hacker. Let me think about this now. This is a great time to take. Haven't drafted Tyler Warren on DraftKings yet. I have drafted him some on Drafters. I have drafted him some on Underdog. Seems like the perfect time to get Tyler Warren. So we've checked off the bully tight end. We're on our way to no quarterbacks in the bang. Exactly. Bully, check. Right. The nice thing about Bucky is Gainwell makes sense, but also if I don't get Gainwell, I have Tucker available later. Some flexibility in drafts is nice. It's sort of similar to like, so you're in the 6th round and you haven't taken a quarterback yet, and you opt for a wide receiver who you could, you opt for Alec Pierce instead of someone else because it gives you outs to drafting Daniel Jones. And I'm not saying to draft Daniel Jones. I don't draft much Daniel Jones, but you know what I mean? Like that Tyler Warren gives me outs to Daniel Jones later. Oh, good Lord. That's a different form of bully. That's for sure. Another day, another draft. Happy Friday. Amen. Amen. This is very true. Flyfish says, just joining. We'll have to revisit for Neighbors Talk. Such a unique case because his talent is so incredible. Feel there are ways to structure your team to carry Neighbors and have him dominate down the stretch. No notes. Beautifully said. Like, even if you hate, that's what's also interesting is like, even if you hate that guy, like, do you not have confidence in yourself to build a team where he would make sense? Like, isn't that what we're supposed to do as fantasy drafters? Like, if we think we're good, if we think we're so good at predicting stuff, if we think we're good drafters, I think I'm a good enough drafter. You guys all seem like pretty good drafters. If we're good drafters, why would I not have confidence in myself to be able to craft a team? Just even a few teams where like, yeah, I can build a team that's fine without Neighbors for a month. That seems like a fun task. Like, give myself a challenge, right? Like I would never draft this team. Puka, McBride, Devontae Smith, Bucky Irving, Tyler Warren. I would never fucking draft this team by myself. But I'm taking on the challenge from you guys to with these rules still build a good team. I do this shit for myself, not on stream. I'm like, I would really like, the Colts. I don't really draft Daniel Jones, but I'll give myself it. Like, I think it'd probably be silly to have literally 0 Daniel Jones stacks in my portfolio. So like, let's try to build one, Let's try to build this robust team that I wouldn't normally build. Let's build a Derrick Henry team that I like because I don't really like Derrick Henry. Let's build a Derrick Henry team. Push yourself with what Benny says. Push yourself with some draft your normal team that you would always normally draft, but mix in a click that makes you uncomfortable. Just like you're going to draft more teams. You know what I mean? Draft your same. If you draft a little bit similar to me, draft the same way you would draft, but just take Derrick Henry. Draft the same way you would draft, but take David Montgomery once. See how it goes. If you hate it, you hate it. It doesn't matter whether we like the team or not. That doesn't fucking matter. If we were so good at picking out which of our teams were going to advance and which weren't, We would print so much money. This would be such an easy game, but unfortunately, it is not. And for the first month of last year, a lot of my favorite teams were Malik Nabers, were Malik Nabers teams. If you'd asked me in week, 2, I would have said, yeah, look at these Nabers Puka teams. That seemed pretty good for the first part of the season, having Nabers Puka on the same team. I don't like investing. Yeah, this is fair, but what you like is mostly irrelevant. Like what I like is like what you're really saying is what you feel comfortable with. And there's nothing wrong with not feeling. I don't feel comfortable taking. I mean, I guess I feel more comfortable than the average person just because I have drafted a lot of teams for a long time. But yeah, maybe just trying to check out the see if there's any of these quarterbacks that would make sense. Or Harvey. Let's just do Marv. He obviously goes with McBride. But and I'm not saying whether you should like something or not, or whether you should be comfortable taking these things or not. But what I do think, like really strongly, is that right there's a phrase you've probably heard me say it before, that we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? It's like the cheesy cliche, but there's no game where it's more true than this one. Like I'm fucking uncomfortable with this. I'll give a little spoiler away. This week with Karain on Legendary Sickos, we did part 1 because we can never get a whole subject in one 2-hour show. We did part 1 of we're ranking all 32 stacks, right? So all 32 NFL teams. How would we rank the stack? And Arizona's very low. Arizona's very low. I'm going to take Tony Pollard because similarly, I really like Tyjae Spears, especially on DraftKings. But again, if something doesn't happen with Tyjae Spears, I do have Nick Singleton in my back pocket that I could buy the backfield with Pollard. And so right now, Bucks and Titans, and I'm close to being done with my quarterback prompt. This is pretty interesting, and I don't think it's unreasonable. Funny thing is, I'm more worried about the Rice situation than I am with the Nabers situation. Because like there's so much unknown with both of them because like the rehab process is such an uncertain thing. Like it's May. He was never going to be ready to roll in May ever. And because there's uncertainty and because they're telling us there's uncertainty, it feels really fucking uncomfortable. So we start saying like, Jesus, is he ever going to be healthy? Is he going to be, when is he going to be ready? Right. You sort of start snowballing just like you do like in real life. You know what I mean? We all do this. It's fucking anxiety. It's best ball anxiety. That's just how the human brain works. We start snowballing on down into all these like terrifying thoughts. And with Rashee, it feels more concrete. But there's like, I would never blame anybody that said, dude, I don't trust fucking Rashee Rice as far as I could throw him. And he's like 225 pounds. So no, I can't throw him at all. So I don't trust him. That's totally reasonable. Like I'm also taking the dive on Rashee Rice myself, but like I have no issues with someone being like, dude, this guy's a total knucklehead. How could I trust him? Could I get your thoughts on Nabers Rice in oh man, this is my favorite, in a very short time box contest like when the Frenchie 4 drops today? So PTB, I am going to shamelessly direct you to yesterday's video on this here channel where I actually did a time box strategy whole discussion for 30-45 minutes. But the cliff notes, the TLDR would be sign me up. That's another like piece of nuance that goes into these types of things as it pertains to best ball specifically, right? If somebody wants, have to separate ourselves from our redraft brain and from the cumulative scoring brain. And we also have to separate ourselves from like I'm drafting the DK Millie, right? Who knows what happens with Nabers and Wright? They could really tumble. If someone said I want to wait a little bit, again, that's totally reasonable. But in the time box stuff is like if that tournament fills in a week, right? Like the puppy fills quickly. I was like, I actually hadn't drafted hardly any puppy teams. And so I drafted only once it got to like 90% full. And I was like, I'm just buying Rice and Nabers when they fall and whatever. I don't care what percentage I have. But now if I don't want to take them in, during this part of the calendar for Best Ball Mania or this part of the calendar for the DK Millie or the Drafters main event, if I don't want to buy them now, fine. But you can still take advantage of them in different ways in different tournaments. And we should have different strategies for those tournaments than we have for this one. But it's hard, I'm rambling for 2 hours, 4 days a week. Like I'll talk about those kinds of things, but it's hard when people are just like, what are you doing with Malik Nabers? It's like, well, yeah, in the Frenchie or in the puppy, I'm drafting him every single fucking time. I'm sort of dipping in and out in the other tournaments. Like if someone wanted to know like specifically what am I doing, that's what I'm doing. I'm not taking them every single time. I'm going to take them, but I'm also going to try to see what I can get out of it value-wise. So I can't take Stafford, okay? So what I need, yeah, I think Wandale here. Obviously, I already have the Titans thing. I need wide receivers. I need wide receivers that I can stack with later quarterbacks. I'm also probably going to only God damn, this makes me feel so. Speaking of being uncomfortable, I'm so uncomfortable because I think it's going to have to be only 7 wide receivers. But I mean, Puka, Devontae, Marv, and Wandale are okay, but it's not like awesome. So then either a running back I can. Oh, okay. I want to put Gainwell in here. Okay. Oh, sorry. I need to look at the wide receivers. Oh God, Pittman does truly make sense on this team, which makes me sick. Thank God he's gone. Okay, there's no real wide receivers here. So I'm going to take Gainwell. So there's one. One by a backfield. Complete. Gainwell plus Bucky, which is kind of a fun one. Little pricier than some of the ones we might like, but kind of a fun one nonetheless. So I wouldn't say this is fair. OMG says fading Rice isn't as scary as Nabers. Rice is very rarely going to bury you with a 35 burger. Nabers could. I definitely agree that Nabers has that's why it's a great point. Why I think Nabers is extra appealing is because he can just, and he's literally done it in week 17 before. Like went for 35-40. He did it as a rookie. He had huge games last year before he got hurt. Not 35, I don't think, but Rashee has been great, but a little bit more of like a supercharged PPR scam kind of guy, but that doesn't mean he's not capable of putting 35 on somebody's head. But I would agree that Nabers is more likely to do so. Yeah, this is true. I was worried about Quinshon Judkins and faded him, and I think I was stupid. I think that was wrong. Right. So I'm constantly trying to learn from these other examples as well. Oh my God. Draft 5 players whose last name is a first name. That's a good one. Thank you for saying this. Someone might say, so you're just going to draft all the injured guys. And I probably should have clarified this a little bit better, but Flyfish nailed it pretty well. He agrees on avoiding injured early round players. He said, which is why Nabers is such a unique case. I wouldn't do this for Nico or London, etc. I agree. It's not just because he's an early round guy who's hurt. It's because he's Malik Nabers. Like, if you're avoiding Malik Nabers, again, I understand, blah, blah, blah. But he is a unique case that he truly, like, if he had not got hurt last year, we might be saying Malik Nabers is the best wide receiver on planet Earth at 23 years old. And we would be like, this dude is Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. This dude is like, he was on path to that. So he is, I think Drake London is really, really good. I think Nico is really, really good. I think, these guys are good. But if this was Drake London, we first of all, we wouldn't be dealing with the same price type stuff. But this is specific to Malik Nabers. He is that good. That his upside is that immense. He is a unicorn case in this regard, right? Like, I really like Tucker Kraft as a football player. Tucker Kraft is not prime Travis Kelce. Tucker Kraft is not Brock Bowers, right? It's like we would treat Brock Bowers differently. We would treat Malik Nabers differently. We would treat Justin Jefferson differently. We already treat Christian McCaffrey differently, right? There's an upper echelon where we need to treat them differently than other other players with similar risk. I would not treat the same as Malik Nabers. Okay, we said round 10 counts, right? I could do Dobbins. I could do Bill. I could try. Let me think about this. Bill. I could try Bill plus Rachaad White, or I could try Aaron Jones plus Jordan Mason. And God damn it, though, now I'm really punting quarterback if I do that. But I think it's wise. Who's highest in ADP? Well, Dobbins. I could do Dobbins, Jonah Coleman. No. Let's do Bill and then try to get Rachaad White. If I don't, I have Katron Allen in my back pocket. Yep, bingo, exactly. Jones and Mason technically have a Claiborne emergency, but I like Katron a little bit better than Claiborne as an emergency option. He's been getting some interesting coach speak thus far, Katron Allen is. And I'm not a big Katron guy. I generally like my running backs to be more running backs than fullbacks, but I also can't deny his competition is not great, and he is getting some positive buzz. But I would prefer to have Rachaad White. Yes, Biz, as soon as I make this pick on Rachaad, boom. Okay, so I'll be honest, I need to probably get a little bit of a queue together. Oops. Tajay. I want to make sure Tajay is in the queue. So we have 5 running backs, Bucky and Gainwell, and Bill and Rachaad. So we got 2 out of 4 done. We need to have Tajay on this team, and then I need to get 2 more. But I also still need, Jesus fucking Christ, I need to get running backs. I'm exceptionally uncomfortable with this draft. Oh yeah, you asked a good question. So, can you go through what the draft hacker numbers you have displayed? Just curious, want to see if I should tinker with what I have showing in mine. Yeah. So first of all, it's a great question, and thank you for bringing it up. I just want to pull up for anybody that wants, has the tools or is interested in them. You get to customize everything. Like, look at all these fucking options. You can see whatever the hell you want. You can set it. You can set it by site. You can set it by sport. You can set different things that you want to see. You get to pick the colors. You get to pick, even like font sizes and all that kind of stuff. So it's all customizable for what you want to see. And there's a million things, right? Like, but here's what I have. So when there's correlation, I want that to pop off. I think that's one of the most important things of the draft hacker. And then the playoff schedule. And it also, right, so then it will show you the playoff matchups, weeks 15, 16, and 17. It will also show you correlations along the way in those matchups. I have different colors for if you correlate with the quarterback or if you're on the opposing team, or if so the Puka Bucky showed up in the orange, but like Stafford and Puka will show up in blue. That's how I do it. You can do it in a variety of different ways. I show my exposure. The very first number is just my exposure for, it says all tournaments that share the same rankings, which means, hold on, I just want to check. Don't want to get too far behind. So just like my overall exposure, right, on the site is the first number. And then I do my ownership with my first quarterback. I don't do it with the second quarterback. I'm messing around with that. And I show my ownership with the first tight end. And then I also show my ownership with first round pick, second round pick, third round pick, and then combinatorial stuff. So first and second, first and third, second and third. And I do have projected ownership at the back end. So that's why there's a whole mess of numbers on here. And what I take from it is usually, especially early in the draft cycle, you'll see things like, right. So I have a bunch of Keaton, and you'll see like, okay, you have 37% Keaton, which maybe you want, but he is on all of your, like, right, 100% here. This is, if you hover over this when you're drafting for yourself, there's it, like on my screen, it says percentage Devontae Smith. When I hover over that 100% number, it doesn't, StreamYard doesn't let the tooltip pop up and show it to you guys. But so it's like, right, 100% nailer down here, I think, with Devontae Smith as well. So I'll see some of those things. Like, I'm not like analyzing every single fucking number on every single pick, but what it's doing is making my life easier. And it's pointing stuff, jumping off the screen at me to like, look at this, remember this, so maybe I can adjust while I'm in my draft. And it's mostly exposure and correlation is the main stuff that I use it for, but there's other stuff that you can put on your screen as well. Wow, Jordan Mason falling all the way back. Okay, I'm getting exceptionally uncomfortable because I have some pretty major quarterback issues on this team. And I think I have to draft fucking Daniel Jones. Yeah, we have to draft Daniel Jones, which, goddamn, is awful. Just truly awful. I agree with this. All right, at least I got it. I do feel a little bit more comfortable now that I at least have a quarterback. Yeah, Judkins looks fine. Scadaboo looks fine. Those injured guys seem fine. It's just true. I just like keep, when you draft enough, Jonathan says this is a great point though. You can show ADP changes, right? So you can show guys, right? You can show guys who have moved up and down either in the last 2 days or in the last 7 days, which is definitely a really good one to show. I just already have like a million things on my screen, and it's something when you're like literally drafting every single day, it sort of just gets ingrained in your brain through osmosis, just from drafting. Okay. I'm sorry. I truly cannot pass on Keaton Mitchell here. I don't care about the quarterback stuff. He's not going to come back to me. I'm drafting Keaton, and then I have Vidal. I need to get. Oh, Tajay's gone. Who took fucking Tajay? Okay, so shit. Singleton. Okay, Singleton and Vidal. And that would be it, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have to have Singleton and Vidal because bully tight end is done. No quarterback in the first 10 rounds is done, but I need some help at quarterback. And I have Bucky and Gainwell. I have Bill and Rashad. And so I need a Titan and a Charger, which is Singleton and Vidal. Okay. And then I need Jesus Christ, guys. I got to put some fucking guys in the queue here because this is getting out of control with the quarterback stuff. God damn it. We're pushing the limits of can you still draft a good team with these rules? Yeah. I would prefer not to draft emergency Julius Chestnut or who even is the RB4 for the Chargers. I don't even know. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. I'm not, and this is like, it's like when we have to say like not financial advice, 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-HOPE-NY, like you have to do the ad reads and stuff like that. So I'm 100% not condoning skipping work to watch best ball draft streams. Though I do very much appreciate it. I'm not the world's best at like accepting compliments and stuff like that, but I will say those kinds of things, what Bree said yesterday and stuff, really do mean a lot. It makes it, it always feels worth it because it's fun and I get to talk to you guys every single day. But it does always make it a little bit more worthwhile. Probably, yeah. Yes, it is. Being forced to draft. I am a proponent of 8 running backs on DraftKings in like 0-ish running back rooms. But when it was specifically paired with these other 2 prompts, it makes for a really freaking uncomfortable team, right? I'm going to be pretty bad at wide receiver, but I mean, the bet here, right, is Arizona's good on offense. Puka and Devontae like just sort of carry me, right? There's no AJ Brown, so Devontae is locked into a high floor every single week. Puka's locked into a high floor every single week. And then I got to hit, Wandale's in a high floor every single week. And then I got to hit a couple of home runs at the wide receiver position with some of my last picks. Yeah, I mean, I probably just have to take Brissett. I'm not a particular big fan of this holdout from Jacoby Brissett, but I just think I've backed myself into Jacoby Brissett on this team with Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison. We made our bet. This is another one of those. Like I have not, as you see, you can see on your screen, I have not drafted Jacoby Brissett. I don't intend on drafting Jacoby Brissett, but he's like essentially mandatory on this team. I made my bet with McBride and Marv and cheap quarterbacks. Tough shit. Time to lie in that bed. Bet bed. Okay. Okay. Yep. Now I just need these 3 folks with 4 picks to play nice so I can complete my prompts here. Quarterback room is going to be quite the combination of the quarterback room and the wide receiver room is pretty fucking hideous, but holy hell. Listening to this at work from a tower crane, building a ship for the Canadian Marines. That's insane. Dude, A, stay safe. That's very fucking cool. But please be safe. Okay. Singleton. Okay. We got our Titans. Now I just need Vidal, or I do want to just double check the Jesus Christ. Just in case Kamani Vidal gets sniped, Jarrett Patterson is the RB4 for the Chargers. Just in case. That's good. That's yeah. When I was at work, like in the corporate world, I listened to YouTube shows and podcasts and all that kind of stuff the whole fucking day. Isn't Jeremiah Love setting up to be just like Genty last year? Cards are big dogs in almost every game and have one of the hardest schedules. What's his path to paying off? He's a god. Yeah, I think so. I think the offense should still be solid. Assuming it's Brissett and he's just a superstar is sort of the payoff. But I'm with you. I've gotten lighter on Jeremiah Love. I've moved him down in the rankings. He's not going to be. I'm not full fading him. Like he's just too good of a football player at a reasonable enough price for me to full fade. But like I don't know exactly what percentage I'll end on. It's probably not going to be super high, which is sad because I love Jeremiah Love, St. Louis boy. I hate fading my St. Louis boys, but it is what it is. I'm mostly on the same page with you. I respect the shit out of the galaxy braining. Where do we think Tyreek lands? Oh, good God. Yeah, the chat is saying in prison, which is probably as good a bet as any. I'm very curious. I honest to God, I don't have the slightest fucking idea. I'm not even going to pretend. I could speculate wildly and just throw shit at the wall, but I'm not entirely sure he plays. His injury was really bad, about as bad as it gets, especially for someone who is reliant upon speed and athleticism. And we know he's not a particularly awesome human being. He's older with that injury, a little bit less effective than he was. Do teams just say, teams could also just say, like, we'll wait till, preseason and show us that you're 100% or even in season. But I don't even want to attempt to guess, to be honest. Oh, Rodgers went. Jesus Christ. Am I going to be rocking a 2 QB Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett team here? Because oh no, Gino. We got Gino. Oh yeah, baby. Somebody took Vidal. Which one of you dickholes took Vidal? I have to take Jarrett fucking Patterson on this team. Are you serious? Jesus. Incredible. Who's trolling? Which one of you? Where is he? What am I looking for here? The one. Oh, fucking Dylan. Of course it's fucking Dylan. I didn't even see it. Good call, Goobs. I'm so dumb. I didn't even think about it that way. That's very stupid of me. I could have taken Katron too. This is what it has to be. RGT, don't you fucking dare. Although I have other options. All right, Sean Tucker. That is a shout out to Goobs in the chat. My simple brain was thinking about making sure I buy 4 backfields, which I would much prefer, if I'm being honest. But this is kind of fun. We still completed the prompt. 8 running backs on only 4 NFL teams. Let's see. We went Bucky and Gainwell, Tony Pollard and Nick Singleton, because of course someone took Tajay from us, Jacory, Krosky, Merritt, and Rashad White. We took Keaton to try to set up Kamani Vidal and got sniped on Kamani Vidal. So we took Sean Tucker. There's our 8 running backs, 4 NFL teams, 3 of them on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How about that for some backfield purchasing? Okay. Now I need 3 wide receivers, and we need to hit some home runs here. Okay. AD Mitchell does stack. We got our boy Trey Harris. I don't think I can take Chris Bell with only 7 wide receivers. Brazel is kind of interesting as a home run swing. Pat Bryant, Surratt, interesting. Taekwon, I don't think I want to do bait in on this team. Boring ass Devon Vele. Skyler is a little interesting. God, it's bad down at the bottom of wide receiver ADP. I'm going to put Kyle Williams in the queue. I haven't drafted him. We could sort of Jacoby Lane. I could take all the Ravens guys and just like try to buy one useful fucking like sort of just buy a backfield, but buy a wide receiver too. I did not take Patterson. Are we jumping into drafters next? Yes. Oops, sorry, got the draft board off here. We are jumping into drafters next, which reminds me, for anyone that just joined, when we do drafters main event drafts here on the channel, we give away a drafters ticket. All you have to do is see that Google sheet in the chat that I just posted. You see where other folks have put their name in that first column. Put your name in that column, and I will add you to the wheel of drafters. And I'll spin the wheel at the end of the show, and we will give away. God damn, AD Mitchell and Trey Harris go. We will give away a free ticket to whoever the wheel decides. Okay. I said I don't want Chris Bell. I think Brazel makes sense. That's a good combination of upside swing and competition with Xavier Legette for wide receiver 3. I really like Jalen Coker, but I'm not sure if Brazel is really, really good. Not an insurmountable task. Let's check some correlation. I think I'm gonna do the Ravens thing. Surratt. So hold on, let me remove some guys here. Well, I guess assuming no one takes all of them. Surratt is my favorite. But then I'm going to take one of the other. So there goes Bateman. So I'm going to take Jacoby Lane or Tez Walker, hopefully, as my last wide receiver to sort of try to. Right, I'm only taking 7. It's possible. Like, why would you do this? It's possible that I get the wide receiver 2 and the wide receiver 3 on the Ravens here, especially as we go on later in the season. But hopefully, at a minimum, I'm getting one of these useful players, and then the other one has contingent value or whatever, right? We stack multiple wide receivers on teams all the time, and the Ravens are completely free. The Ravens wide receivers are one of the situations I'm really trying to take advantage of right now in the late rounds, because none of us know who it is. There's 4 guys. We're worried about Diggs or Keenan or whatever too, and that's a totally understandable thing to be worried about. But even if they sign Diggs, okay, so that's wide receiver 2. You still have wide receiver 3. They've moved on from all the big heavy personnel stuff. No Likely, no Kohler, no what's the Ricard and stuff. Those guys are not on the team anymore. So you're going to get some more routes out of more wide receivers this year. And just because nobody knows who it is, they're completely free. What is this Pickett stuff? What am I missing? Why are you so obsessed with Kenny Pickett? That's so funny. I'm a deep sea scuba diver listening from the bottom of the Atlantic while researching a sunk submarine at the ocean's floor. Audio is a little spotty. Are we doing freestyle for drafters? You bet your ass we are. If you have more, we're about to finish up the DK draft. We will take a super quick break, and you can listen to my promo. And so bring your prompts for the drafters freestyle here in just a couple of minutes. How much is too much of a player? We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Here's what I will say. It is all rock hard says that it's relative to if they're a good player or not. I think that is like somewhat true. Too much of a player is relative upon or is relative to the other players that you want access to. Every time you take X player now, and so what people will say is, well, the cheaper they get, the more I'm willing to raise their exposure. That is somewhat true. It can be true, but what exposure is really relative to is the other players that you are foregoing by drafting X amount of one player. And maybe all those players you don't give a fuck about, right? I had over 50% Will Shipley last year as well. I didn't care. I thought he was the best bet. Was that stupid? Maybe. But it was because I said, this is the best bet on the board here by far. I don't care about missing out on those other players. But, right, like if you draft, so I drafted Pollard in the 7th round. If you said, well, I love Tony Pollard, I want as many Tony. Okay, well, you go through it. You're like, are you willing to not have Chuba? Are you willing to not have Mekhi Lemon? Are you willing to, and maybe you are, but the exposure you get to an individual player is only relative to what you're willing to fade or avoid of all the players that go around them. Oh, should I take both rookies or my boy Tez? I think fuck me. That is so tough. Have they said anything fun about Tez? No, of course not. Oh, no, increased competition is what they said. I don't want to do both rookies. Let's do Tez Walker. I'm a Tez fan. I'm a Tez slappy, I believe, as the kids say. So we completed freestyle number 1, 8 running backs on only 4 NFL teams, bully tight end, and no quarterback in the first 10 rounds. Speaking of being uncomfortable from the Malik Nabers bit, this draft may be the most uncomfortable that I've felt yet on one of these Freestyle Fridays. So shout out to you guys. It was actually very, very fun and very, very uncomfortable. Full team, a 3-8-7-2. The first time I've drafted one of those. Puka Nacua, Trey McBride, Devontae Smith, Bucky Irving, Tyler Warren, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tony Pollard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Kenny Gainwell, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Rashad White, Daniel Jones, Keaton Mitchell, Jacoby Brissett, Nick Singleton, Geno Smith. So the old Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith room for $3 million. God. Sean Tucker, Chris Brazzell, Elijah Surratt, and Tez Walker. Honestly, I'm a psychopath, and I kind of like how it came together, but it was very difficult to put these prompts together. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I think I would be the main thing I think is quarterback. Bully tight end seems fine, but I think the no quarterbacks in the first 10 rounds, I guess it would be one or the other of bully tight end or no quarterbacks in the first 10 rounds alongside the buy a backfield thing. I also think, Bucky felt fine at the time, and Bucky actually ended up sort of saving me in a weird way. But ideally, I think what you would really rather do is like 8 cheap running backs. So you have a little bit better wide receiver firepower on this structure. All right, give me your freestyle prompts in the chat for we're going to hop into a drafters main event here in 2 seconds, just after this super quick break. Hey guys, if you are playing best ball this year, I promise you're going to want to check out Spike Week Premium. We're the very first company building an entire suite of best ball tools, everything you need to have to crush your best ball drafts. I like to call it your best ball co-pilot. We have the very first overlay tool, the very first portfolio tool, and a brand new draft optimizer. So the Draft Hacker overlays, our Draft IQ portfolio tool, you can look under every nook and cranny of your teams and your opponent's teams to find an edge in your drafts. You can optimize your drafts based upon the plan that you have with our draft optimizers, your target exposures, players you want to draft together or don't want to draft together, stacks you want to target. And of course, with the Draft Hacker overlays, you can customize every single thing you want to see on your screen while you're drafting. Playoff schedules, exposures, combinatorial ownerships, projected ownerships, stats about what these players did the previous year, all sorts of different stuff. And those are just the tools. We cover almost every sport that these best ball sites offer with rankings and strategy content. You can also get access to our premium Discord. Thousands of best ball sickos hanging out every day, 24/7, 365, talking strategy, player takes, having a little bit of fun. Our weekly lab call that we do on Wednesday evenings where you can hang out and talk shop with me, the other Spike Week members, and the Spike Week personalities. Everything for just one low price, $39.99 a month or $200 for a year, gets you absolutely everything that we offer. Those tools, the rankings, content, Discord for one low price. Come hang out with us this summer. I promise you won't regret it. Come join the Spike Week Sicko gang. And now, let's get back to the show. All right, looks like we need 9 over here on drafters to fill. It is a requirement that we fill this draft if we're going to give away the free ticket, which I will post one more time for folks that have just now joined. At the end of this draft, once we get done here, any folks who have put their name in this first column will get added to the wheel of names, and the wheel will decide who gets a free ticket to the drafters main event today. Okay, let's go through hold on, I gotta turn off my my banner here, and let's get into some of these prompts as we need 4 more. Okay. Interesting. Okay, hold on. This is fun. I'm trying to think. 3 players with last names Williams, Jones, or Smith is really funny, and I'm just trying to think about how many players there are in that cohort. Draft a 2, 4, 11, 3 team. Barbell running back, 5 players whose last name is a first name is funny. Only AFC and NFC. So AFC South, NFC South for my stacks. Okay. This is very interesting. Auto draft. So 1 early round auto draft, 1 late round auto draft, and 1 middle round auto draft is pretty fun. I kind of like that. We've chosen that one is one of them. Oh, fuck me. This is pretty funny for yes, main. I think I did the main. Yes. 2 more. Throw in the last name Brown. Okay, hold on. What was the all right. All right. This is good too. No running back. So we're going to go sort of the opposite. No running backs in the first 10 rounds. We did no quarterbacks in the first 10 rounds. I like this to change it up a little bit. No. No running back in the first 10 rounds. No running back in the first 10 rounds. What was the other one I said? I like the let's do the 3 players with the last name Williams, Jones, or Smith. That's wild. 3 players, Williams, Jones, Smith. Two 10 7 3 is fascinating. Exactly. I would do this, but I think with the running backs later and only wide receivers earlier, that my brain might explode. All right, we are filled. I think my brain might explode. 102, beautiful. That work. That will work. Obviously, no, we'll be fading either Bijan or Gibbs. Let's find one more prompt. What was the first names one? 5 seems like a lot for well, bring that one back next week, Deadhead. Please remind me next week. I'm down to do that one next week. And we will do oh god. This is also a good one. Bring this one back next week. Amen to this. Okay, hold on. We did Puka on the other one, right? So let's do Jamar. Sorry, I'm trying to find all the prompts. I'm scrolling all the way back. Is quite the mess. What was it? Oh, auto. Yeah, I was like, I know that there's freaking something that I can't remember. Auto 3 picks, early, middle, late. So I have to try to, if I'm not taking a running back, I have to make sure I auto a spot where I'm not going to get a running back, which might be at 23, would make sense. Oh my God, these are tricky. Okay, so the official freestyle is extreme 0 running back. No running backs in the first 10 rounds. Have to draft 3 players with the last name of Williams, Jones, or Smith. And I have to auto draft 3 picks, 1 early, 1 middle, 1 late. See, I don't agree with this, but I understand the premise. I have no pushback. Yeah, see, but bring this one back next week, Deadhead. I want to keep it fresh on my mind. A few Williams to choose from. Yeah. Well, Daniel Jones and Aaron Jones, Devontae Smith and Jonnu Smith. Yeah, someone said Jackson Smith and Jigba. Is that really the only Smiths? Well, let's see. Let's just search. Gino, Juju, Keandre Lambert Smith. So Smith is pretty rough. Yeah, Brashard. Antonio Williams. You must draft one player with the last name Pickett. Okay. I'm gonna auto this pick. This is gonna be one of my autos because I want to try a Neighbors. Zero running back, Neighbors cumulative scoring team, and I will be autoing Neighbors here. So there's my early auto. Oh, I gotta make sure to. Oh, baby. Gibbs, Henry. I think I'm about to get Chase, Neighbors, Rice. Yeah. All right. Chase, Neighbors, and Rashee Rice. Let's see what we can do here. Isn't auto just click the top ADP? No, because I have rankings uploaded. I have rankings uploaded. Why is it? What? StreamYard. What are we doing? Yeah. Jonathan called it. Chase Rice, Neighbors. This is true. This will be fun. It's okay. So we autoed one, then I'll have to auto a middle round and a late round. No running backs in the first 10 rounds. That's fucking easy. Williams, Jones, Smith. Okay. Williams, Jones, Smith. But I can't put them in the queue because then when I auto, it would be cheating. The auto has to be at some point in the middle that the top guy on my ranks, which I have to manipulate here because I can't take a running back. We'll see. Maybe I can get Justin Herbert. Fannin will be a guy. So I'm trying to think of the guys that I'm way ahead of ADP. Fannin. Herbert, I'm not as way ahead because you sick fucks on drafters all love Justin Herbert too. Chuba, I'm not that far ahead on, and he's a running back. I think Wandale, maybe. We'll see. That is true. Herbert, low-key, 2 first names. The kids wouldn't think about it because the kids have never met a Herbert, but these are you guys are getting putting me to the I got to make sure I get good sleep on Thursday nights. I did get good sleep last night, but I'm saying I got to make sure I get good sleep on Thursday nights. These are mind benders. God damn. What happened to the draft a 0 running back team with an elite quarterback and 2 Vikings? Like that bring me back to those days. These are tough. Caitlin Clark MVP. Shout out Caitlin. Did you see the weekly pay bonus in drafters? Yeah. For those that didn't see, drafters implemented new weekly prizes. You see over here if you click on the tournament. So every week they're giving away, 5,000 to first, 2,000 to second, etc., all the way down to 10th place. And then, of course, I just want to make sure and reiterate for those that aren't aware on drafters, they have these milestone bonuses of which they reward double until June 30th. So you draft 10, get a free one, draft 25, get another free one, draft 50, get another free one. But until June 30th, it's at draft 10, get 2 free, draft 25, get 2 more free. So you draft 50 teams, you get 6 for free. And if you haven't played on drafters before, you can use, oh, damn, I was so close to being able to auto a Williams. So do I take him or do I, the 101 has Gibbs. I would love to hit the Mike Breen double bang. autoing. I guess this is not a mid round. So let's take JMO. It's not a mid round. It doesn't count. Burden, Terry, Waddle, and Lamar. Okay. Burden, Terry, Lamar. Well, I'm going to get one of Burden or Terry. Just depends if I want Lamar. I don't. If I don't have running backs in the first 10 rounds, do I want Lamar? Maybe. But I can't pass. I can't pass on Terry McLaurin. Pick 50. Sign me up. Jesus Christ. Jamar Chase, Malik Nabers, Rashee Rice, Jamison Williams, Terry McLaurin. So we got one Williams. So I need two more Williams, Jones, Smith. Aaron Jones, probably a pretty big priority. Not sure we're going to be able to check that Smith box, but I know it's not three. It's not one of each. It's in total 3 from that group. Noted. Yeah, shoot. Cam Ward. There you go. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to put, while we are, before shit gets crazy in these double-digit rounds, when I have to start figuring out autos of running backs and stuff, that's going to be really tough. I'm going to put the link to the free ticket giveaway in one more time. You have until pretty much like, the 18th round of this draft or so to enter to win the free ticket. Shout out to our good friends over at Drafters. They're giving away free tickets if you just draft some fucking teams. They're giving away free tickets if you come hang out on our shows. And you can, if you've never played on Drafters before, if you use code SPIKE, you get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So you can get $100 for free. You can get a whole lot of free best ball teams over at Drafters this year. What is it? Williams Jones. Okay. I'm going to try not to look, at least not yet. I'll probably have to look later in the draft. I'm going to try not to look just yet at the list of, I already looked at the list of Smiths. Obviously didn't get Devontae, and I would really, it's a good Friday. Not like Good Friday, but it's a wonderful Friday. I'm in a great mood. I'd really prefer not to draft Geno Smith on both teams on a show. Feel like that would be setting the weekend up for failure. Savion, good shout. Yeah, next year, Jeremiah Smith will work. Jordan Tyson. There's another last name, 2 first names. Carnell Tate, Lamar Jackson. A lot of 2 first names. Really shocking amount of 2 first names, as a matter of fact. You don't think about it like that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 10 is too much, but 5 is probably too easy, Benny, I think, for next week. Over under 7.5, probably. Okay. Oh, no, hold on. I want to reset the default order. I'm going to do something funky, and I'm going to take Herbert early And then I think what I'll end up doing is autoing at I trying to set up this next auto. I think I'm just gonna take May. Like I'm gonna auto Drake May. It's a nice fall. But this I'm done at quarterback. I have 2 rock solid quarterbacks. I'm going to be drafting so many running backs later. And I don't have any tight ends. Both of those guys have cheap tight ends. Yeah, there you go. Minimum 7 aspirationally. Brian Thomas. Another one. They're everywhere. Cortland Sutton. I think this is, as I think this through now, this would have been far more difficult 10 years ago when the names, like the amount of names for first names the list has grown exponentially. Like people selling baby books, baby name books got to be making more money than they were making before, because the shit that people will name that, like there's kids named Blue Ivy and shit. You know what I mean? Like what did like the Kanye name his kids? Like these insane things. And that's become the cool thing. I won't specifically single anything out because I don't want to offend any of you or any of my friends or family. But there's these adding things like Lee to the end of names, adding Lynn or whatever, like adding those things to the end of names is like just toss that shit on the end of any name and now you created a new name. That's all the rage nowadays. You know what I mean? So this task has become this prompt that I thought was like going to be too much to throw into 2 other prompts is like the easiest one ever. Right. Alec Pierce would have worked 10 years ago too. Shout out Pierce Brosnan. This feels like cheating. Auto draft should have been determined beforehand. Well, you can't do auto draft beforehand if there's 2 other prompts, because then I won't be able to achieve, right? If we said auto draft, right? Like if we say you can't draft any running backs in the first 10 rounds, and then you say, but you have to auto in rounds, whatever, 2 and 6, that's like the whole point is that I have to sort of strategically figure out when to do the autos. Shout out to Jalen Rose's mom for naming a whole generation. Okay. I screwed it up doing the Herbert May thing because I could have got Dart Mahomes here like a fucking idiot. Damn it. Okay. I'm taking Fannin. I still need Williams, Jones, Smith. Okay. I can't take a running back yet. Fuck me. This is what a I actually have Michael Wilson at the top here, and someone's going to get Mahomes here. God damn it. I screwed this up. I guess if you're ever going to take Michael Wilson, I guess this is the team to do it. I can't take a running back yet. Jesus. These 2 drafts today, tricky. Yeah, Lee, Lynn, all that kind of stuff on the end of names. Say Clandestine says, you've never heard a brother-sister combo of names like Mary Jane and Cocaine Mothershed? The girl was named Mary Jane and the boy was named Cocaine. Shout out Oklahoma. That Mary Jane, like the kids and stuff will never think twice about it. That's like not that abnormal. It's funny, but it's not that abnormal. Naming your son Cocaine, and I'm assuming you spelled it the way that they did, Kokain, is pretty legendary. That's pretty legendary. D. Ross, good morning. Good morning. It's not morning. It's noon where I am. It's not that early for a GM, but I'm with you. Good dog names. Mary Jane and Cocaine. That's outstanding. Oh man. Is Jalen real? Like, is this proven Jalen is the most common name in the NFL right now? It's not surprising. Jalen does seem like in the NBA and stuff too. Like everybody has Jalen's. I mean, spelled differently, but Brunson, Brown, Williams, two Williams, McDaniels. I'm going to be missing a ton, but oh, you got busy mornings. Got the kids to school and drove an hour to the warehouse. You got lengthy mornings every morning. Yeah, between all of these. Oh, Jaden as well. Oh yeah, did I say McDaniels? Jalen McDaniels. There is a Jalen McDaniels, but Jaden is the one who's obviously good. I don't think Jalen McDaniels is in the NBA anymore. Okay, I still can't take a running back just yet. Oh, I need oh shit. Wide receiver is so bad here. I despise Jaden Higgins. Let's take Diggs. Let's take Stephon Diggs. And now, don't do it. 101. I can finally take a running back. He's a genuinely good pick on this team. And yes, Aaron Jones. Look at that. After ADP, I couldn't even get Kamani Vidal or Tyjae Spears before ADP in the first one. We get Aaron Jones. Round 11, we've achieved our running back goal, and we now have two Williams, Jones, Smiths. Why don't you like Higgins? He's just not particularly good, and you'll hear tomorrow when Legendary Sickos drops. Pat and I have a good in-depth conversation about my hatred for the Houston Texans. He likes them a lot more than I do. I don't think Jaden Higgins is very good. And the Texans don't really like to throw. CJ Stroud is very bad. They have the best defense in the NFL. Not a big fan. I don't see a lot of upside. I don't think that matters for drafters stuff. If you recall, when we did a couple of weeks ago, when Hope Bishop from Underdog released that like 5% of people even use rankings. And so like a small percentage of those like such a small percentage of people use. I think there's just an overall misconception about how many people subscribe to these tout sites, how many people use their rankings. A lot of people will subscribe and listen, and there'll be certainly be some people who use the rankings, but also you'll subscribe to something and you don't agree with all of the rankings. Like the amount of people who subscribe to even the biggest ones like ETR, that subscribe to them, download and use their rankings, and draft exactly off them is such a microscopic number of best ball players, especially on a site like Drafters, that I don't think it moves the needle that much. I think Drafters people like Stefon Diggs because it feels like almost a certainty that he's going to play, and getting those kinds of like veteran wide receivers who score points like immediately, come with a reasonably high floor, are a little bit more valuable on a site like this than they are, like Stefon Diggs making it to week 17 and being, a high upside asset is less likely. Certainly like an underdog where it's half PPR, it's much less likely. And on DraftKings, he does go a little bit higher, I think, than on underdog. So I think he's a better fit on PPR. I think he's a better fit on drafters. Travis Kelce, two first names. I see your comment, Disbanded Brotherhood, but it's making me sad. A Demont only and fade the rest. I'm drafting Nico. I'm not going to do a ton of David Montgomery. I will probably have a sprinkle. Damn it. Really wanted Keaton. Hold on, let me look at. This is not the world's worst Gadsden team, but let's get some running backs on here. Okay, we didn't get Tajay on the other team. Let's get Tajay on this team. So we really need some running backs, and we really need some running back production, huh? Good God, man. Okay, this team sucks, but we're going to see if we can't salvage it. Yikes, man. I guess there's a time and place for your first Woody Marks click of the summer. And this is it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Desperate times call for your first Woody Marks click. What are your thoughts on Bill versus White for the Commanders? I think Rachaad White is going to be the passing down back, and I think Bill has the first crack at the early down stuff. So I like them both. Obviously, that makes Rachaad more valuable on full PPR sites and Bill maybe a little bit more valuable on half PPR sites. But I don't think it removes Rashaad's value on half PPR, because it's not like he has contingent value still. It's not like he can't get goal line carries. He's gotten them in the past. He's a bigger guy. So I'm gonna draft both of them. I honestly think I can't believe I'm saying this in the year of our Lord 2026, but I think I'm going to have more Rachaad. I play a little bit more on PPR sites. I think I'm going to have more Rachaad, but I'm going to draft some Bill too. I think just the raw upside is pretty nice for him. Are you slapping Eli Heidenreich? Not two first names. No, absolutely not. No. Once had a client whose name was Diane, but went by Didi. I think that's a thing, right? From like older generations, Diane goes by Didi. She married a guy whose last name was Duda, and she became Didi Duda. Oh, man. Oh, shoot. Oh, it's fine. Don't sweat it, Deadhead. We all if I wanted Keaton, I should have taken him earlier. That's how I feel about but my team could have really used him, is all I was whining about, being a whiner. Good question. Who I know it's early, but who do you see steaming up the most as we get closer to the start of the season, like Bill last year? Well, it's always like that. It's always so. Bill was a little bit of a unique example. He obviously started steaming up because he got some hype, and nobody really cared about Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler and Chris Rodriguez, and Jeremy McNichols. But Brian Robinson got traded, right? So that we can't really predict trades all that well. We sure think we can, but we're pretty bad at it. No one predicted Brian Robinson getting traded, for instance. But I think the easiest bet, sort of cop out answer, but it's also true, is like these ambiguous. So pick someone from the ambiguous running back rooms or the ambiguous wide receiver rooms, right? So like, let's just say we start to get to camp and Elijah Surratt. It's like Elijah Surratt is running with the ones. Like the market is sort of waiting to find out more information about some of these situations, right? Cowboys backup running back. The Ravens wide receivers that we talked about. Hold on. We are on the clock. What? Okay. It's disgustingly, this team needs Emmanuel Wilson for maybe some early running back points. I still need one more Williams, Jones, Smith, right? Okay. Is there no just Jonnu, right? Is there a Williams, Jones, Smith, Williams, Jones? No tight ends. Son of a B. I'm gonna take Katron. Just a click and pray, right? Like Bill, we just talked about sort of liking Bill and Rashad, but I don't think that they are insurmountable objects in that backfield rotation. So on this particular team, like that's the kind of shit I'm gonna need, right? Aaron Jones, okay. Aaron Jones scores some points early. Maybe Tajay scores some points early. Emmanuel Wilson scores some points. Give me a bunch of swings on some stuff, both contingent value and maybe some rookies that break through that are unexpected. Yeah, I think I need to draft 10 running backs on this team. I think it's going to be too. Yeah, we might get. I guess not 10, 9, right? It'd be 9 running backs and 7 wide receivers. Yeah, so 2, 9, 7, 2 will be. That's pretty much what I'm planning for. Because I am going to get a second tight end. I'm not drafting a solo fan and team. I wouldn't draft a solo anything with a Brown. I got to figure out the Smith, Williams, Jones thing at running back. Because there's no real tight ends. But yeah, this is when we draft something super extreme. Lean into the fact that it's extreme. Like I drafted 5 wide receivers in the first 5 rounds. Like I'm betting on Nabers and Rasheed are just killers, or even if they get off to a slow start, I have all these other good wide receivers. Right? Chase, J-Mo, Terry McLaurin, Michael Wilson, Stephon Diggs. But what's my weakness in this running back? So just throw as many roster spots at the running back problem as you can. I also need to auto one more guy. Shit, yeah. See, I'm rooting for these kinds of things. 2027 offseason would be berserk if a 2-9-7-2 wins. The beauty of all of this is any of this stuff can win. I would not put my money on this team winning, especially on drafters, right? But like I'll take Emmett. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been doing much Emmett right now, but that's another one just like maybe the rookie hype wins out. Like I'm gonna take Ray Davis because I think he's pretty much a smash here. Oh, we didn't put Davis on the list, no, right? Williams, Jones, Smith. Fuck. And I have to auto. Okay. I have to auto one more, and I gotta find a Williams, Jones, or Smith. Okay, now I'm gonna start looking. Jonathan Williams. Okay, no, not tight end. Let's do Williams. Oh God, I should have attacked this harder earlier. Williams. I don't think Zay Jones, Taiwan Jones, Ricky Seals Jones. What did we say? Wasn't there a Smith? Janu? Juju? Janu? What's up with Janu? Like, if I worry about Jonnu Smith, Jonnu Smith could be the spark the Texans tight end room needs. That's hilarious. Panthers could and perhaps should still sign Jonnu. ESPN links Panthers. That's interesting. So much speculation, and everybody is saying different teams. Panthers get surprise. What the fuck does that mean? Panthers get surprise news. What does that even mean? What do you mean surprise news? Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete this. Yeah, there you go. Johnny's about to be this year's Darren Waller. He's forced upon me. I mean, I can't. I guess. Yeah, Brashard. We're down to Brashard and Jonnu Smith. This didn't go according to plan. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I don't have any other options because I backed myself into this terrible corner. So Braylon goes, Wicks goes. Okay, I'm going to take Mike Washington because then I can either auto Malik and Brooks or Brooks. Oh, please, I would like to take Malik, and then I will straight up take Jonnu in the 20th. And someone's going to snipe him. I know how this works. And then I'll have to take a solo fan and team with Brashard, but that's okay. Okay. Now, last auto, Malik Davis, running back 9 on the team. One of my flag plants. And then I will take either Jonnu Smith or Brashard Smith in the last round. Just depends on if I want to. I did not handle this one perfectly, I will admit. But it was a very difficult. This was a difficult freestyle. This is someone gave you orange and onomatopoeia as your words. And oh my God, I just autoed Devon Vele. Okay, so now I guess I will take Brashard. Why did it auto Vele? Oh, Max, min Max. Oh, fuck me. Well, that's what we get. That's what we get. W draft team might be iffy. Yes, I would say that this team is quite iffy. They're not all going to be gems. You know what I mean? You're freestyling. They don't all land. You're just hoping for some winners mixed in amongst the crew. Especially when we almost nailed it. It goes auto pick if you don't unclick it. Yeah. I just had Malik at the top of my rankings, so I assume it's positional. Oh gosh, what would you do if you won BBM, Millie Maker, and Drafters? If I won all three, I'd probably just be naked for a week, couple weeks, month. It'd be cold, I guess. What I would really do is certainly take the wife and the family on a vacation somewhere fun, but get a PJ so we could bring the dogs. And I would probably so being serious and not being like luxurious, I would my entire life, future goals. I am well aware that you can't stream fantasy football content for your entire life. People will stop. I don't know why people listen to me as it is, and people will eventually stop listening to you when you get old. My goal is to have a animal rescue. That's what I would love to work towards. That's honest to God why I play this is, of course, for work and to build a business and all that kind of stuff. But I would really like to retire later in life with my own animal rescue to be able to, specifically dogs, but I like all animals, and to save as many dogs as I could would be the goal. So buy a bunch of land and start an animal rescue would be so 3, 5 point, north of $5 million. I think we could accomplish that. We would definitely have a party. We would definitely have, I don't know if I could fly everybody in, but I mean, I could afford it, but I love you guys, but it would probably be cheaper to get a private jet or something. Okay, what do we say? Brashard Smith or Johnny Smith? Brashard Smith or Johnny Smith? Solo Fannin or fuck it. Look, this team's ridiculous. Jonnu is not helping this team. We took Emmett. Let's bet on this nonsense. Lean into it. Lean into it all the way. Our last call for the Drafters free ticket giveaway. Scroll up in the chat if you want to enter your name for that. Justin Herbert and Drake May at quarterback. Aaron Jones, Tyjae Spears, Woody Marks, Emmanuel Wilson, Katron Allen, Emmett Johnson, Ray Davis, Mike Washington, and Brashard Smith. Probably the first Brashard Smith drafted into the Drafters main event, because we could not draft a running back for the first 10 rounds, and we fucked up the last auto draft. But Jamar Chase, Malik Nabers, Rashee Rice, Jameson Williams, Terry McLaurin, Michael Wilson, Stephon Diggs, and Devon Vele with a good old-fashioned solo Harold Fannin. If this team wins, not only will we be starting a dog rescue, I will be laughing at all of you guys for 365 days, because there is absolutely no reason that a team like this on a Freestyle Friday should win a cumulative scoring. Shouldn't win any tournament. But if it does, I will be victory lapping for a long time. How do you apply? If you're asking about the free ticket, it's right here. It's a scroll up in the chat to the Google sheet. But I do have to get the wheel ready. Let's see. Oh yeah, this I have lots of thoughts, but we don't got to dive into Eric's animal thoughts of the day today. We can get into that at a later date. All right, let me share the wheel. I gotta fix the names. And we will rock. If you were unable to get entered this week or today, remember that we are giving away Drafters tickets every single show that we do a Drafters main event draft for the rest of the summer. So that won't be every single day, but it will be most days. So tune back in Tuesdays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern here with me. We'll be drafting fantasy football teams all the way up until the season, and frankly, even on into the season. And we'll give away as many tickets as we can. But let's go ahead and decide today's winner. It is. Oh, that was close. It's a tie, but RGT, nothing like putting Robert Griffin the turd up on your screen. You have won. Shoot me a message in ideally in Discord, or you can leave a comment on this video with your Drafters username. If you do not have a Drafters username, sign up, use code Spike, etc., etc. And I will get the Drafters folks to give you your free ticket. Another fun Freestyle Friday. Thank you guys for hanging out. Have a wonderful weekend. Be on the lookout for Legendary Sickos tomorrow morning, early morning, the first part in our ranking of all 32 NFL stacks for best ball in 2026. And of course, on the way out, if you guys could hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed, be greatly appreciated. Again, have a good weekend. I'll sort of see you guys tomorrow, but I'll definitely see you guys on Tuesday. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.